What's up everyone, it's UnsungNPC back here with another class video. Today we are going to be looking at Bloodragers. Bloodragers are pretty much just really angry sorcerers. No, they are sorcerers that instead of focusing on the magic aspect, more focus on the primal bloodline instinct and are a little bit more melee focused and ferocious rather than just being a simple spellcaster. So we're going to take a look at the Bloodrager. Okay, so first we have your standard Bloodrager. You get the Blood Rage, Greater Blood Rage, Tireless Blood Rage, and Mighty Blood Rage. Those all work exactly the same as the Barbarian Rage does. Pretty much the same thing. Yep, they all do the same thing. So if the Barbarian video that I've posted talks about those, but those do the same thing. So you also get fast movement just like a Barbarian, uncanny dodge, and improved uncanny dodge like a Barbarian, indomitable will like a Barbarian, but the added things are Blood Sanctuary. Okay, so due to the power of the blood, a Bloodrager can stand confidently amid the effects of spells, so you get a bonus to saving throw against ally casted spells. So their spells are less likely to hit you. And then you get blood casting. So basically, when you have a spell, the range of touch or personal, when you enter Blood Rage, you consume the spell slot, and then you get to activate the spell, and at 20th level, you can apply it at the beginning of a Blood Rage instead of before it starts, and you are no longer limited to only spells of 2nd level or lower. So first, 2nd level or lower, you have to do it before the Blood Rage begins, and then it activates once the Blood Rage starts. At 20th level, you can do it at the same time, so you're saving time, and you can do higher spell level. I think Bloodragers only go up to level 4, so not that much higher, but still pretty cool. You get Bloodline feats, so every 6th level and every 3 levels thereafter, you get a bonus feat based on your specific bloodline, so each bloodline has feats that go along with it. And then you get your damage reduction just like Barbarians. And instead of rage powers, Bloodragers get the bloodline powers, right? From having a sorcerer's bloodline. So that's what they have. And it's just like a Barbarian, except they can detect magic, but the proficiencies are all the same. So everything except heavy armor and tower shields, basically, for the Bloodrager. The Meta Magic Rager is exactly the same as the Bloodrager, except that you can apply a Meta Magic feat. And so this takes the place of improved uncanny dodge. You can instead apply a Meta Magic feat, and it does not increase the level of the spell you're casting. So you don't have to worry about being casted at too high a level. And you can only do it, or doing it while raging. Oh, the Meta Magic Rager does not have to be blood raging to use this ability. Meta Magic is without increasing the level. As I already said, the Meta Magic Rager can apply only one Meta Magic feat he knows in this manner with each casting. But also, instead of taking these bloodline feats, you're allowed to take Meta Magic feats instead as your bonus feat. Other than that, pretty much the same thing as a Bloodrager. Just a Bloodrager that focuses on Meta Magic, which I think is cool. I mean, unless you really want improved uncanny dodge, I don't see why you just wouldn't take Meta Magic Rager just to have the option. So, pretty fascinating stuff there. These are one of my favorites. Spell Eaters. Okay, Spell Eaters are so cool. So, what the Spell Eater does is they have the Rage, right? The Blood Rage, fast movement, okay, Blood Sanctuary. They have Spell Eating, which takes the place of improved Uncanny Dodge, and they don't have Uncanny Dodge either. So, Spell Eating, you can consume spell slots for healing. So, you can consume a spell slot for 1d8 healing based on, or 1d8 per level of the spell. So up to 4d8 eventually. I think you get 4th level spells at when? Oh. At level 13. So after level 13, you can get 48 healing from that, from sacrificing level 4 spell slots, which is cool. And then, instead of damage reduction, you get the Blood of Life. So basically, you get fast healing that stacks up to fast healing 6. So that's 6 health gained every round. And if you get any type of bloodline ability or anything like that that gives you damage reduction, it instead gives you more stacks of fast healing, which is really cool. So you could take a bloodline that gives you damage reduction, and then it just increases your stack of fast healing, which is awesome. And then your typical bloodline feats, as per usual. So yeah, it's self-healing, and then being able to eat spells, eat magic for health. Freaking magic eaters, man. I love a magic eater. I love these guys. Steel Blood. So Steel Blood kind of works the same way as a Armored Hulk Barbarian, except it's for the Bloodrager. So you've got Armored Swiftness. You start by being able to wear heavy armor, and you can cast spells while wearing heavy armor. And then you have Armored Swiftness. When wearing medium or heavy armor, you can move 5 feet faster than normal. Right? And then you get Blood Deflection. So you can sacrifice a Bloodrager spell slot to gain a deflection bonus equal to 2 plus the level of the spell sacrificed to your AC. That's actually crazy. Duration of this lasts 1 minute. It's increased by 1 minute at 10 level, and then every 3 levels thereafter. Ooh. Oh, and then instead of increasing damage reduction, you get to add... the increase is added to the duration of the effect. So if you take another bloodline that gives you damage reduction, it instead gives you 1 more minute on the duration of this AC bonus, which is really cool. And then you have armor training instead of damage reduction. So armor training reduces the check penalty and increases the maximum dexterity bonus. So you can actually kind of make a dexy, like a higher dex Bloodrager here, and then get the armor training, and you'll just have a really high AC at the end of it, which I think is really, really cool. So that's a more tanky Bloodrager, the Steel Blood, right? Urban Bloodrager. Urban Bloodrager is like someone who has a more controlled, contained blood rage. So you have fast movement, uncanny dodge, all that. Instead of Blood Sanctuary, you get restrained magic. So instead of allies being less likely to hit you, you are less likely to hit allies. So if your spell is in the area of someone else, then they'll get a +2 to their saving throws against your magic. And then you're not proficient with shields. The controlled blood rage. So instead of the normal benefits of blood raging, you get a +4 to either Constitution, Dex, or Strength, and then +6 and then +8 like usual. And then no bonus to will saves, no penalties to AC, and you can still use Charisma, Dexterity, and Intelligence-based skills. And it still counts as Blood Rage for the purpose of any spells, feats, or other effects. But you're just getting a little tiny bonus and none of the drawbacks instead. I kind of like this. I feel like if I made a raging character, which I don't love, but if I made a raging character, I feel like Urban Bloodrager would be my go-to, just because the controlled rage is so much nicer than dealing with the penalties of an actual rage. And then you have Adopted Magic. So every now and then, each one of these 5 steps, you get to pick a spell from either the Bard or Magus spell list, which is cool because the Magus spell list is really good at having like Mirror Image, Blur, sword spells, stuff like that. So you could really make a cool, like, you're kind of making a Magus here, but also like a Eldritch Scion, so a Magus with the Bloodline, but being able to also get a bonus from a little bit of Rage, which I think is a really cool, powerful combination. So definitely worth a look there. Next we have Blood Conduit. So regular Rage, right? You get Contact Specialist. So you can select a bonus feat from the following: improved bull rush, improved trip, and improved unarmed strike. And you don't have to meet the prereqs for those. And then Bloodline Sanctuary, and then Spell Conduit. So as long as you're wearing light or no armor, you can deliver the spell through bodily contact as a swift action. Like if you're bull rushing, tripping, or doing an unarmed or natural attack against someone, you can do it as a swift action. And then, yeah, you release the touch spell. And then at the Reflexive Conduit, if anyone attacks you with unarmed or natural attacks, then you can release a spell channeled into your body, your blood, and release it on the attacker as a swift action as well, which is pretty spooky. And damage reduction, bloodline feats, all that. So just a little change there. I think it's pretty cool though. Nice little thing. If Uncanny Dodge isn't good enough for you, it's a cool little bonus there, being able to just transfer spells like that. Can make a good like unarmed Bloodrager here. Be pretty interesting. And then Primalist is pretty much a Bloodrager, like exactly like a Bloodrager, except you have primal choice. So instead of taking a power from your bloodline, you have the option to take instead a rage power from the barbarian rage powers. Right? So it's like a regular Bloodrager, but you have the option to take barbarian rage powers instead. Like the meta magic one, I don't know why you wouldn't just do this one instead of a regular Bloodrager, because they're optional bonuses. It's like meta magic feat optionally, barbarian rage power optionally, but you don't have any drawback. You're not taking anything away from the actual Bloodrager. So I don't know why you would ever go with basic Bloodrager when you could just go with this. If you're wondering about these hybrid things here, all these slashes, they're just hybrid combinations by the mod creator for combining some of these archetypes. I don't really use them per se, so I don't mess with the hybrid stuff very often. But the mod that I use is called Call of the Wild, and there's several other mods that I use that are going to be in the description of this video. So if you want to check out this mod, you think the Bloodrager looks cool, that's what it's from. It's from the mod. It's not in the base game, unfortunately, but I think it's an interesting class. Some of you barbarian lovers might like to try it. I mean, spellcasting barbarian, hello. Pissed off sorcerer, yes. So it might be cool to take a look at that. So once again, Call of the Wild, it's on the Nexus. Check it out. We are going to go in and check out some of these bloodline powers. But before we do that, I mention this every time I can. Favored class mod is also by the same creator as the Call of the Wild mod. Fantastic mod. It does very little, but what the little it does is fantastic. So you get to just pick your favorite class here at character creation, and then every level you take in that class, you get a part of a bonus. And you can take different bonuses based on your race as well. So we'll take bonus Blood Rage rounds, right? So this gets us another Blood Rage round. So you can get 20 additional rounds by the end of level 20, which is really cool. Alright, so Bloodlines. So the Bloodlines give you powers, alright, and they give you 4 spells that you get to add to your spell list as well. Okay, so for, we've got the Aberrant Bloodline, that kind of alien, weird, supernatural bloodline. So you can stagger people, you increase your reach by 5 feet, become immune to sick and nauseated, you have a 50% chance to negate any critical hit or sneak attack. You become immune to disease, exhaustion, fatigue, and poison, and to staggering. And then eventually you're immune to critical hits and sneak attacks. And you gain blind sight, and your damage reduction increases by 1. And you can have these constantly, even while not raging, which is whoa. Right? Abyssal, you get claws. You get to grow 1 size. You get resistance 5, acid, cold, and fire, eventually 10 of each of those. you receive a +2 bonus to strength when you're blood raging, but your AC penalty becomes -4 instead of -2. And 16th, this becomes +4 strength. At 20th, it becomes +6 strength. Added on to the already bonus from strength that you or the bonus for melee attacks and stuff. So this is a good strength-based blood rage. You get demonic aura, deals 2d8 plus your con mod points of fire damage to creatures that end their turn within your demonic aura. So like right next to you. And then you become immune to electricity and poison even while not blood raging. Celestial. Okay, Celestial melee attacks are considered good aligned, right? And you deal additional damage against evil outsiders. 5 to acid and cold, eventually 10 to those. You take half damage from magical attacks with the evil descriptor. If such an attack allows a reflex save for half damage, you take no damage instead. You gain a pair of wings, right? You gain a +4 bonus to AC and +4 resistance on all saving throws against attacks or effects made by evil creatures. And then you gain immunity to acid, cold, and petrification, 10 electricity resistance and fire resistance, +4 on saving throws against poison, and you have these benefits constantly. So very cool. These are some like good, these first three are pretty good. Like Bloodline, like being able to turn these into melee warriors is pretty impressive. Destin Strike, you can get an insight bonus equal to half your level on a melee attack. +1 luck bonus to your AC and saving throws. So eventually it'll be +5 by the end of it, by level 20. You may decide to re-roll a failed attack roll once per day. You can use this ability once per day per 4 levels of Bloodrager. So eventually 5 times per day. That's pretty cool. Once per day, when an attack or spell would result in your death, you can attempt a DC Fortitude save. If you succeed, you are instead revived with 10% of health. Okay, you just defy death, as the ability says. That's pretty neat. Any critical threats you score are automatically confirmed. Any critical threats made against you confirm only if the second roll results in another natural 20. Wow. 2 natural 20s to confirm against you, and yours are all automatically confirmed. That's a lot of critting. It's a lot of critting. You're immune to paralysis and petrification, as well to the stunned, dazed, and staggered conditions. Okay, victory or death. That's the destined bloodline. Now, the dragons are all the same. The difference is just, like, the element at hand. So, they all get you claws. You get resistance and a natural armor bonus based on the element that you're choosing. You get a breath weapon, wings. You can turn into the colored dragon as using Dragonkind 2. And you gain immunity to paralysis, sleep, and whatever the elemental damage is. And then you gain blind sense. So it's the same. It's just the element that changes here. Okay. And then for these elements, you have elemental strikes. Okay, so it imbues one of the 4 elements. Resistance, elemental movement. So this one says you're able to fly. Oh, they all say that. They're all. This one says immunity to combat maneuvers. Plus 30 feet to your base speed. 60 feet? My goodness. Immunity to combat maneuvers. Okay. The damage of your elemental strikes doubles, right? You can take on the form of the elemental of your type, as if using elemental body 4. And then eventually you get immunity to sneak attacks, critical hits, and the damage of the element that you choose, even while not. So a lot of immunity to sneak attack and crits out of these different bloodlines, which is really cool. The Fey bloodline, confusing critical. So it's like staggering, but instead you can confuse people when you confirm a critical hit. Woodland Stride, right? Like a ranger. You can become a blur of motion when you blood rage. Oh, so while blood raging, you get blur. And also haste. And you can turn invisible as well. One type of creature that can be affected by the Bane weapon special ability. Oof. So while under raging, you can be blurred, hasted, and be invisible. That seems like a dangerous force to be reckoned with there. Infernal, you get Hellfire Strike, so you do fire damage on crits. You get fire resistance and saving throws against poison. You get +4 saving throws against enhancement and fear effects. Enchantment and fear effects. Enchantment. You get wings. When you charge, the attack you make at the end of the charge is considered to be performed with a weapon having flaming burst property. Okay. Immunity to fire and poison. Resistance to acid and cold. Blind sense. Alright. Immunity to fire and acid seems like the best immunity so far, because those are just two things that can constantly be thrown at you in this game. And then my all-time favorite bloodline, Undead. Frightful chargers, so when you charge someone, you can make them shaken. Okay. Melee attacks are treated as if they have the ghost touch. Oh, so you can attack ghosts and stuff, which is cool. Cold resistance as well as DR10 magic. Oh, yes. So much damage reduction on top of the DR5. Frightening strikes, so you can cause people to become afraid. You can choose to become incorporeal for 1 round per Bloodrager level. You take half damage from magic corporeal sources, and you take no damage from non-magic weapons and objects. Oh, what? That's just insane. Oh, man. Immunity to cold, paralysis, and sleep. DR from your damage reduction ability increases to 8. You gain +4 bonus to saving throws made against spells and spell-like abilities cast by Undead. Yeah, I'm telling you, Undead Bloodline, superior every time. Best Bloodline, for sure. But that's all the Bloodlines there. Yeah, so there you go. There is our Bloodrager. If you want to take a look at the feats for these different bloodlines, I suggest downloading Call of the Wild and from the Nexus and giving this mod a try. Bloodrager, I think more exciting than Barbarian. Raging still isn't quite what I would like to be a part of in this game, but if you're a huge fan of the rage mechanic, then this seems like a really cool class for you to try out. Once again, I'm UnsungNPC. If you're new, I hope this is helpful, maybe inspired you to download this mod. If you're a veteran, I really hope this inspired you to download this mod, because this mod is killer, as are the other mods that are going to be in my description. So check those out. Alright, this has been another class video, and I will catch you guys at the next one.